Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to another Solution Sunday, because being the soul you are is the solution. We are grand beings of light here in physical form. And now we are at the point of remembering who we are in physical form. Today's guest, I'm so excited to have Trish Kane as our guest today. Trish is just an amazing being. She is the founder and CEO of HEALERVERSE. She's a healer, an entrepreneur, a strategist, a speaker, and author. And in 2014, she found herself literally on death's doorstep. And now here she is, vibrant, healthy, and alive, to tell us about her story, what she has discovered about healing. So Trish, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to come heart to heart with you today on Solution Sunday and be part of this amazing event and movement in this moment's time. And where shall we start?
Yeah,
My story?
Why don't we tell your story? It's always fun to hear other
Okay.
people's stories.
Yeah, so in 2012, I started to get signs from spirits, and I didn't know what they were, but I felt so connected to them. And I remember I would play cards, and I oftentimes would know a card was coming out next, and I'm like, this is cool.
Right?
Yeah, because I'd been in active addiction and alcoholism for a long time. I think I started drinking and drugging when I was about 18, very full send, alcoholically, and when I was 18 years old, even 17, but not as frequently. And that kind of numbed the pain for a really long time of never fitting in, never fitting into the box. You know, the box, the made up box, but it exists, I never fit in that box. And I always felt alone, and I'd been through a lot of trauma, and it kind of helped me to feel like the trauma wasn't there anymore, or maybe it was an internal that the trauma wasn't there anymore, but I would often cry and act erratic when I was drinking. So it was it was kind of like two forces were in me, and it worked until it didn't work anymore. And then basically in college, I had all these dreams and visions of who I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. And I was able to kind of hold it together sometimes in order to do well in school, but it escalated. And by senior year, I went from a 3.8 GPA in business classes with dreams of working on Wall Street and being free. That was my idea and vision of freedom. I was like, I'll just make so much money and I don't have to talk to anyone ever again. What? And then, but I had to the last semester of senior year of college, I had to ask the professors to please pass me. And I had so many excuses because I was doing drugs. By senior year, I was very heavy into cocaine. I basically picked it up and I couldn't stop. I could not stop. So it was it's this dark force had a hold on me, and I was so ashamed and filled with so much guilt because I couldn't believe that this was me. I was always told don't do drugs. I grew up in a conservative household, religious, but also pretend everything is good on the outside, even though it's chaotic on the inside. So it was sort of a reflection of my life too. And I was acting out, and I mean, things were just really chaotic. And I had done 2 internships on Wall Street, and I was like, this is what I wanted. This is why I went to business school. So I sort of had a crisis, and I just couldn't stop doing drugs. And so that went on for until I was 29 years old, basically. I was able to sometimes put down drinking and drugs for workaholism, or always try to fill that void, right? Do you have experience with that too?
Absolutely. I think all of us light workers have in one way or
Yeah.
another. Exactly.
Yeah. I was always trying to fill the void with something, eating, not eating, working out, one night type things, or just making out with everybody. Drugs, working out, whatever it was, like sports. And so by 2014, I had already taken a hostage. I was married for like 2 years, and like that was like definitely a karmic, I wouldn't even say a negative karmic soul connection. Like he probably saved my life because things would have gotten a lot worse. And then I wound up actually leaving him for somebody else, chaotically running away to Florida. And I basically lost everything. I had nothing left. I had a job. But drinking and drugging, like I kept trying to put it down and I literally couldn't. And I remember praying, like, God, please help me, some nights, because it's like I have to get up the next day. And that was the worst feeling. Like that happened the night before my college graduation from undergrad too. Praying to God, like, please, I cannot do drugs tonight because I have to go to graduation tomorrow. I have to go to this board meeting tomorrow, whatever it was. And praying, please. Because once I had one drink, like I would just wind up doing drugs too, like do cocaine. And I didn't have a choice anymore. It was like brutal. It was like I was stuck. But I always like my brain or outside forces within my brain would tell me it will be different this time though. But tonight you can have one drink. Like, I don't know. It's like the thing that we hear, like when we're addicts or alcoholics or whatever you want to classify it as, just one. That's what it would always get me on. I believed that lie that it would tell me in my head or outside, wherever the heck it is that talks to me. There's definitely two forces in my brain. There's the one that's like, yeah, help everybody, like spread love, like we're on the angelic realm level. And there's another one that's like, let's fuck shit up today. You know what I mean? Or like,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
let's get high and drunk and ruin our life. I don't know if you have that exact, but it's similar for everybody, whatever
It
they're
is.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like I call it like the who I am and the who I am not. It's like
Yeah.
these two forces of the false self and the true self.
That's beautiful. Yeah. It's like there was this song that I loved. It was like an angel on my shoulder and a devil in my head.
Yeah.
And man, that song is accurate.
Right? Yeah.
Oh,
People don't
yeah.
realize like that the dark, like all of it is intelligent. And like these
Mhm.
little beings of, fear or guilt or doubt, it's like they can come in and, they start speaking to us in many different ways. And it's
Yeah.
really hard to differentiate when we're thinking thoughts. It's really hard to differentiate between whether those thoughts are actually our thoughts or not. It kind of blew me away when I realized, like, oh my gosh, I can think somebody else's thoughts. Like, I didn't understand how that worked, but when we're taught, think this way, this is how it is, this is how it is, this is how it is, then we just start thinking, well, this is how it is. That's not really true. And those really aren't our thoughts at all. There's somebody else's hand-me-down thoughts.
Mm. Yes, and those destroy us.
Yep,
They really do. Well, they don't
exactly.
have to anymore, but
Right.
it's like, there's like almost a lot of us light workers do have a turning point, right? Where it's like wait, I got to do something differently. Maybe what do I truly believe, you know? And like, what do I truly want? And what do I truly need? Because like, that's what creator, God, Jesus, Buddha, Allah, whoever, right? Like creator wants us to be ourselves.
Exactly.
And mostly society does veer us off path, like based on cultural norms and society and everything overall. I mean, social media now these days, so it's like, who am I? And that's scary sometimes because you might not have ever known yourself, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you think
Like,
about it, when, we're these grand beings of light, we are souls that come into a physical body, and that physical body is really little in the beginning. And then
yeah.
we're just given a name, we're given an identity. And
Mm,
that identity isn't who we are, it's just who
mm-mm.
other people want us to be you know
Yeah.
so it's really confusing right from the start because we're never seen as who we are. So we're treated as the who we are not, we are treated as the identity, and then we just believe that that's who we are. We're told what our religion is, we're told how old we are, we're told what we have to think about when you go to school. Now you're going to think about math, now you're going to think about English. Now it's like, okay.
Ah,
It's like
yeah.
we
Yeah.
hardly have a fighting chance of knowing who we are.
Yeah, it's true. And even growing up, I was like in this program called Resource Room, and it was like for the kids that didn't do well in school. But like, I mean, I took like an IQ test and I actually have like a above average IQ, like high above average IQ,
Right.
not like the highest, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Not like but it's like it's actually like it's like none of this shit makes sense. It's all fake. It's all made up, you know?
Exactly. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. 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 And that's what was killing me inside because I am such a love spreader, And even when I like tell this story of like me being in such darkness and drugs and just wild things, I mean, I was definitely protected the whole time because then in 2014, like I basically was at this part of the story, but I wound up, the paramedics found me. My mom had a feeling something happened to me and had the police and the ambulance come check on me, and they found me. My body temperature was 86 degrees Fahrenheit or 30 degrees Celsius. And they brought me back twice. Like they resuscitated me and they rushed me to the hospital. And they told my mom and dad, I'm sorry, but if she makes it, she's definitely going to be brain dead. And people were like praying for me all over the world because I mean, I know a lot of people. I've always been like a love spreader and like I talk to everyone, no matter where you're from, like, everybody that I meet, I talk to. That's just who I am. And thank God, like basically the moral of the story is everybody was like, she's gonna wake up. And they wrote me letters when I was in the coma. And my mom like gave them to my mom to read to me. And there was like 50 letters for me when I woke up or more. And so I did wind up waking up. All of my organs died too. Organs that don't come back came back online.
Imagine
I
that,
know.
right?
Yeah. I
Which just simply
right?
proves that they do come back. Like,
Yeah,
if it
exactly.
works for you, it works for everybody. Like,
Yeah. Yes. The doctor was like, I have no idea how you're here right now. And he meant it. He's
yeah,
like, you have angels. And I'm like, whoa. So that actually triggered something in me because I had gotten signs from angels for like 3 years before that. And so I felt super grateful and loved. But I actually had two strokes also. And I didn't move back and forth. This whole side of my face was droopy. I had to learn how to like eat again, go to the bathroom on my own, walk, think. I couldn't really see anything. it was definitely humiliating and also inspiring at the same time for me. Cause like they told me that I might not walk again and that wasn't gonna happen.
Just
I
watch.
I had to go slowly, and like I had to learn how to be gentle with myself for the first time. Um, yeah. And I started to learn to like be gentle with myself. And that was the last time I drank or drugged. I've been sober. I'll have 9 years sober in November 17th. I'll have 9 years sober. And
Congratulations.
thank you.
Right?
And yeah, the doctor was like, you can't drink. And I'm like, yeah, no kidding. Because that's what happened. My heart just stopped, you know what I mean? And I had even like thrown up and I didn't know what happened. I didn't remember my ATM pin. Like I didn't remember anything. Like I had really bad like, I was pretty wrecked.
Yeah. No,
Yeah. But I mean it's amazing like what that did for me because I learned how to like recognize that voice of like fear, hate for oneself, anger, like resentment, and really to like work on that like with healers. Um Obviously I went to rehab and physical therapy, occupational therapy, but really like I started to see like trees for the first time and sunsets and rainbows and like.
right? There's
Yeah.
so much beauty on this planet, and it goes
Yeah.
so overlooked when we're, so head in the sand, head in the sand, focus on making money, focus on making money, focus on making money. It's like, oh my goodness, stay in the
Yeah.
fence, follow the
I
rules,
know.
fit in.
Yeah. I was definitely not living a life worthwhile for a really long time. And I mean, I couldn't really hold down a job anyway. I was really good at getting jobs and really bad at keeping them. And I had such good intentions in there, you know what I mean?
Right? Exactly.
Yeah, I did. I was like never like a bad person. It was just like literally the darkness like encompassed my entire being and soul. And it's like, how do you even get out? Who do you speak to? Where do you go? And my hope is that people can find people that will pull them out or just the willingness to want to get out. But it's so
That's
scary. It's like, where do you go?
right.
Whether it's right, it's like drugs and alcohol or just depression or whatever like you want to classify all that together as all the things.
Mm,
Like I just want everyone to know that there's a way out wherever they're at.
exactly. So, what
Yeah.
did you find as your way out? I mean, obviously there was rehab and things like that, but
Yeah.
I have the feeling there was more to it.
I tapped into like the spiritual side of things and I really stuck around people that had what I wanted because like I was like the biggest advocate for going to the bar and getting drunk. So I became the biggest advocate for like bettering ourselves and like, sticking around people that were inspirational and that were helpful. And I had to really get honest with myself, which was something I never did before because since I did have a lot of abuse and stuff, and that's not an excuse, it's just my story. I always lied about everything as a defense mechanism to be able to protect myself. But clearly lying wasn't protecting me anymore because so I had to really get honest and dig deep within myself. And I did work with a lot of different healers, Reiki healers, theta healers. I do a 12-step program too, which is literally amazing. It's not for everyone, but it's like worked for me. And I'm like step 11 in every 12-step program is like look for spirituality. You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, I've just like wound up stumbling in 2020 in this underground spiritual community of healers and all of a sudden I had people at a whole other level telling me that everything was possible and that I could do anything. And when you're surrounding yourself with people that tell you, I see that for you, that's going to happen, everything is possible, like, how can I help? I mean, that's everything. You
Exactly.
know? Yeah.
It said you become like the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
who are those
Yes.
5 people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are they telling you, you got this, you can do it, let's go, love and abundance. I see that for you. And I'm just like, this is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. And
Yes, yes. I
yeah,
always felt so alone in that too, because I was always rooting everybody on. It's like in my DNA. I love watching people win. Big wins, little wins, everything, all the wins, like seeker wins, like public wins, all the wins. I love watching people win, especially the underdogs.
exactly.
Oh, yeah, but I don't think that I was really surrounded by much of that besides like, you know, that's just who I am. So, it was just so nice to find. And that's why I kind of like created a space like that too, within the last couple of years because I wanted other people, I want the whole world to find that. It's a different conversation amongst us healers. It is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when we start to realize like that we are not who we think we are, that we're not the product of our traumas, that we are these
Yeah.
grand beings of light. And we start to focus on our divinity and the divinity of all life. And we start to
Mm.
recognize that, hey, wait a second, we've been living in a society that has set up this electric fence. And, we've
Yeah.
been told that this is the way it is and this is how you have to deal with things and you just got to make the best of what is and follow the rules and be accepted and fit in and that's just this electric fence that becomes
Yeah.
like the electric fence of our own mind because then we
Yeah.
get afraid to stand out or be ourselves or be different or talk differently than other people. We just start to repress ourselves. So,
Yeah. And it felt like too, like the electric fence just kept closing in smaller and
yes,
smaller and smaller as like I got older. Yeah.
yep,
Yeah. Cause like, you know what? You know what the electric fence probably is? Losing our inner child, even part of that, right? Ah,
exactly. We lose our
yeah.
innocence and our purity. We
Yeah.
lose our
Mm,
divinity. And
yeah.
we start to, the more we start to look, the more we start to see
Mm,
that, wait a second. I had this really interesting experience when I was very, very little, 2 and 3 years old. When I would go to bed at night, I would just be part of this unified field of unconditional love and light. And I was like, and I knew that that is actually what is like, that's what's real, that's what's normal. And then I would turn
mm,
around and I would look at the earth and I'd be going like, that's not what they're doing down there. Like, this is not normal at all. And I could see the amnesia. It was like seeing people just walking vacant, like without their soul, without living life force energy. And it was traumatic at the time because I felt like I was even like even the people that loved me, I kind of felt like, I'm surrounded by zombies that really don't know who they are. And,
yeah.
when people don't know who they are, they just lash out in defense all the time. We're always living in that defense mode. And boy, that's not the way we're designed to live at all. It is not living. That's just
Yeah.
surviving. And no wonder we all do, drinking or drugs or, whatever it is that we find a, solace in to just get our attention away from that. But obviously those distractions really don't work the way we think they're going to work.
No. And I used to be one of those people that would lash out and get angry and act crazy, you know? And yeah, and I was able to come out of that. Like people, when I tell them stories, they're like, no. Because like you're a freaking unicorn, like, no. And I'm like, yeah,
Right.
spiritual healing really works, you know?
Exactly. And I mean, that's
Yeah.
from my perspective, it's the only thing that actually works.
Yeah.
The pills can be a temporary thing, like they can get us
Yeah.
over a temporary hump, but
Yeah.
that's not where the healing actually comes from. It's like when we get over that little hump and we can see who we are and we start to realize, wait a second, there's more, that's where
Yeah.
the actual healing happens, is when we start to remember who we are.
And you know what else? Whenever I'm going through a really challenging time, like a low, I now, because I've been conscious of myself and, spiritually for some time, I know that the valley means there's a peak coming.
Exactly.
All right. Like I know it's coming now, So I sort of will sit in that uncomfortability, allow the release, allow the shedding of the layers that need to come out because I know what's coming next. Like right now, it's eclipse season, right? It's like, this is rad. This is
Yes.
rad. Yeah.
We're
Cause
recording this
like,
on the day after, 2 days after the
yeah,
eclipse. And
yeah,
it was a very powerful Ring of Fire eclipse. What was your
yeah.
experience with that?
So what's interesting is it was like pointed out to me yesterday by myself, but through conversation, that I've really been craving stability outside of myself. So I'm like, okay, like, like whether it's like a abode to live in, like an abode. That just sounded funny. Or like a partner that's stable, and that's like grounded. At least I know what I need. I mean, I was able to really refine that for myself too. And also, like I really want to feel safe where I am, safe in my businesses, safe in the world. Safety is like a very important thing to me. Like personal safety and like just energy safety, right? Those are very important things to me that were pointed out to me. I did a lot of writing this weekend, a lot of writing. Yeah, I mean, I had like this, I almost did something this weekend, and then my entire body was like, no, 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 no. But my brain was like, yeah, but maybe, and it was kind of like a body versus brain
Mhm.
situation. But I wound up listening to my body, and took me even a little while to release like the anxiety from even arguing with my body, right? And and now I'm like happy as heck today because more was pointed out to me, like, and downloads have been flying in. So it's inspiring. What was your experience?
Oh my gosh. My I've been having a really kind of a crazy wacky experience it's been over the last couple of weeks that I had a very interesting experience where I became completely like socially awkward in the moment, like this complete disconnect, like from who I am, and like I didn't understand any of it at the moment, and it was just the oddest experience. And it was an experience of complete disconnect. Like I showed up at a like a dress up event, like not dressed up kind of thing. It was like very, very weird, like very odd. And so there was like this complete disconnect. Like it didn't occur to me like that I was supposed to get all dressed up, kind of like that like under any normal circumstance, like I would have just gotten dressed up, like, but there was a disconnect. it never clicked. And so when I showed up at this event, it was just like awkward, to the nth degree. And
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
what is going on? Like, I couldn't figure it out. And then after I had a few days to process it, I realized that this was a literal, complete quantum disentanglement from my entire past. It was like an event that had to do with figure skating, that was like, figure skating was like the thread that had been keeping me connected to my past in a way that I didn't realize. And so this was literally, I could start to see the energetics and how it was like my whole past was this timeline up until now. Then this was like this disconnect where like nothing fit anymore. And now I'm on a completely new timeline where I've let go of all of the past baggage that I didn't know I was still carrying. It was really, really uncomfortable. But what it made me see was just what you were just explaining. I suddenly saw myself on a trampoline. And it was like, I was like at that event, it was like, whoa, I was down, the trampoline was going down. But then all of a sudden it was like, boom, then it slingshots you back up into a whole new layer of yourself. So I'm starting to call these like trampoline moments.
I love that. My face hurts from smiling so much right now. Do you ever get that where your like jaw hurts?
Right?
That's me right now. That's so relatable, the whole thing. All the time, all the time, all the time. And actually, like last year, eclipse season, this time, I went through major imposter syndrome, like major, but I came out the other side, like, yeah,
Right? Oh my gosh.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's so relatable. It's so relatable. Just, and I like the trampoline analogy. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm starting to see how like it's really quite accurate, because
Yeah.
when we're at our darkest moments, it's like we're down in the
Mhm.
trampoline there, and it's like, there's so much pressure and there's like all this resistance that's happening.
Mm.
And it's just like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And then all of a sudden we just get catapulted up back into the light. And it's like there's no more resistance. It's like now we're floating, now we're in the air. Now there's no density. Now there's none of that heaviness. And it's just like, whee, now we're free. And it's just so fun.
Yeah, it feels like that today. It feels like that today, like very light and fun. We're on the same time zone too. So, but and I love what you talked about like the pressure. It's like it's creating a diamond, it's creating a diamond, and then out comes the diamond.
Right?
Yeah, it's true. And like I shared before even it's like, when we have these moments, we know what's on the other side and we need to remind ourselves that literally we're making a diamond or we're making like a amazing meal, you know what I mean? And it's in the oven. And it's gonna come out and it's gonna be amazing. And we just have to hang in there. Sometimes it lasts longer than others. I will say that. Sometimes the
Right?
uncomfortability lasts longer. Sometimes it's a long time. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just life, I guess.
Right?
And also finding gratitude, right? Like finding gratitude for all of it. And sometimes too, it's real easy to go back into like thinking, like stinking thinking, like,
Yeah.
like looking at what we don't have instead of what we do have. So like one of
Exactly.
the tools that's so helpful for me, like I love making gratitude lists all the time and writing down our dreams. That is so important. That's my
Yes,
thing.
exactly.
Yeah. Write down your dreams as big as possible because like the further along the dream is, and I know it might seem impossible right now, but you're going to get there so much faster than you could ever imagine. Everybody, it
Exactly.
works.
Yeah, and especially when we share our dreams with other like-hearted beings, and
Yeah.
when our dreams are witnessed by others, where two or more are gathered in agreement, it is done. And it is really, really true that when we gather with these like-minded groups, that, we can really propel each other forward so much faster.
It's true. Yeah. The power in numbers, that's a real thing. That's a real thing.
Exactly. Yes. So
Yeah.
speaking
Yeah.
about power in numbers, tell us about your healerverse.
So it's a social media platform and a space for spiritual and holistic healing. And basically, all healers in the whole world are invited to one place, and it's a decentralized social media platform. It kind of looks like Facebook a little bit, but it's not Facebook. That's the best part.
Yeah, right.
Because like,
Yay.
because they've been like censoring and shadow banning healers, and that actually egged me on to do it. Because
Yeah.
a lot of my friends were upset. My friends are healers. They're all healers, and I mean, everyone's a healer, but you know what I mean. So I like wanted to do something about it, and it took me a long time to get it up and to get it launched and everything. But on healers' profiles, they're able to have all their events, their workshops. You can book appointments with them. You can find healers. We can all find each other. It's like a high vibe space for people that are looking for friends in their neighborhoods, in their global community. So I'm going to India and speaking at a conference in December. Go on Healerverse, be like, who's around? You know what I mean? Like, it's basically like all platforms in one, but specific for healers and healing and for people looking for healers. And we're doing like stuff too with the metaverse and crypto. So that way, if like healers want to get paid with crypto instead off the record, they'll have that ability soon, coming up soon. I literally like self-funded like the whole thing. Like I have no investors. Like I like hired a team and like figured it out. I'm
Ah,
like, because I got this download in 2020, and I'm like, how the hell do you build a social media platform? You know what I mean? Like, at this point, I'm like getting all these like spirits popping into my house, calling my phone, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, and they're like, yes. And then like aliens telling me, like, you need to build this. And I'm like, I'm trying. Like I have an MBA in business, and like I was selling digital databases and digital content like for corporate America prior to this. And I literally resigned being like, all right, what, like, I know what you have to make the space for things to come in, not the other way around. Not like, oh, just fill in the next with the next. No, 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 no. And this is a clip season. This is a perfect time to talk about that too, right? It's like yeah, making the space for new to come in. So I'm like, all right, I sold my house in Delray Beach, Florida, moved to Colorado, got this download, and I'm like, and I can't believe I can. It's here. Cancel. I can believe it.
awesome.
Oh my God. So yeah, we have like a couple thousand people registered right now, and it's still a baby. I've been like a CTO this whole time. Like literally I'm the chief tech officer. My friends are like, you are like literally the hottest chief tech officer I've ever seen. And I'm like, yeah, there's a problem with that. Basically, I'm just being silly. I'm not trying to be like,
Right.
oh, I'm saying that because it's like I literally like we're finally here, you know what I mean, where the platform is up and running and I'm able to like spend time with healers. That was my dream, is just talking to healers all the time and helping them with their businesses and helping healers to grow their businesses. Because there's celebrities out there with major, major businesses. But what about like the people that are local, right? What about the healers that are local, that are amazing? And there's millions of modalities out there. Millions.
Yep.
There's like however many types of meditation, breath work, like, Reiki, acupuncture, like everything, like it's like, what is for me? So like at least if everybody's in one place, they can find each other, and like there's very limited censorship on the platform. If anyone's a jerk, you gotta go. You know what I mean? This is a love and light platform, especially right now. Like, and also like I really like, sister, I really could not be on other social media platforms anymore. And like I don't watch the news. I want to see good news, people helping each other, you
Exactly.
know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. It is time to restore planet Earth and to
Yes.
work on the restoration of this planet, work on the
Yeah.
restoration of who we are as grand beings of light, so we can restore
Yeah.
our peace and harmony and thriving on this earth. For sure.
Yeah. Because the more love that we see, the more love that's created. And like the more abundance we see, the more abundance that's created. And the more that we tell people like you can do it, they're going to do it, you know? And it's like in a good way. Like, what are your dreams? What are your specific dreams? Like, you know, like building a culture that's like, what do you really want for yourself? Because that's what we want for you too, you know, whatever that is. Unless it's like hurting people, like, no. But like, if it's like your dreams, like, let's go, you know? Yeah.
Yes, it's like we all
Yeah.
came in with dreams about what's possible and what we would love to see. And then those dreams get shattered when we're told, well, this is the way it is here, we do war and
Yeah.
disease and poverty and pestilence, and you're just gonna have to make the best of it. It's like,
Right.
whoa. So like our dreams get squashed right from the beginning most of the time. So
Well
now
said.
it's up to us to recognize, wait a second. Yeah, no. We're here
No.
to have our dreams, to actually live those dreams, to bring them to fruition, because we're created as these grand, unique beings of light who each have our own unique gifts and talents to bring to this world. And those
Yeah.
dreams were like the thing that was like would showcase the things that we're here to bring to humanity, the gifts that we're here to give. So by
Yeah.
us living our dreams, we're actually fulfilling our soul's mission. It's not selfish to live our dreams as we have been told, but
Right. 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 And also like a limiting belief that I had was like, yeah, maybe it's for them, but it's not for me, you know? And
yes,
it took so much healing. That's why like Healerverse too. It's like it didn't just take me like doing one thing the whole time. Like it's kind of like I love this analogy that I made up. Okay. When I was a kid, my mom had a picture of a lady in a bikini on the fridge so she would lose weight, right? And that way she wouldn't go in the fridge and get like whatever was in there for the kids, right? Whatever. So, yeah, okay, that works for a couple weeks, right? But then it starts to blend in. It
right,
starts to blend in. Yeah, and then you don't even realize that it's there. When
right.
things are new, you know, so it's ever like this journey and evolving like so much to tap into. Like you could go down a rabbit hole. And a lot of this stuff is underground. You know what I mean? It is. It's still underground. And
Yes.
it's like,
Yeah, it still
yeah.
has to be, because being above ground for a long time, healers, they were burned at the stake, they were tied to
Yeah.
crosses, they were dunked as witches. It has not been safe to be a healer on this planet until now.
So I had to do some past life work around that too because in past lives I totally had some stuff happen to me and I still believed that too. Like that I was going to be hurt,
Yeah,
right? And I've had a lot of people tell me that I couldn't build Healerverse, that it wouldn't work, that it wouldn't be done, that it would be cancel. You know, I'm not gonna say it. So, but yeah, no, I'm like, no, I don't believe that. That's why I like tapped into the Web3 and the blockchain community for the last 3 years now to make sure no matter what happens, that's never gonna happen. You know what I mean? To protect the community because yeah, there's nothing. Because I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. We won't even. I mean, we can if you want to, but there's a lot of stuff going on, and it doesn't have to be what we see anymore. You know?
exactly. It's like we
Yeah.
each have the ability to place our focus and our attention anywhere. And if
Yeah.
we're busy placing our focus and attention on what's wrong and the news and, you know, all of the stuff that is
Yeah.
being projected at us, then we simply absorb all the stuff that's projected at us, and then we automatically emit that that frequency, and then we just get
Yep.
more and more of that same frequency. It's like when we shift channels, when we start tuning in
Yeah.
to better quality energy, better quality information, better quality ideas, more healthy,
Mm.
balanced ideas, then we can start absorbing those. And then we automatically emit that. So then the universe reflects that back. It's a whole different story.
I saw this amazing movie over the weekend called Dumb Money, and it was about the what do you call it? The GameStop event that happened. Honestly, it was so good, and like it's such a feel good movie. And I'm not really a movie person either, by the way. I'm not, but I'm not really a movie person. But it was so good because it was basically like the small community of people literally like disrupted Wall Street. You know what I mean? And I love stuff like that because it's so similar to what I feel like us light workers, us healers, us love spreaders are doing right now. Like we're disrupting with fun, togetherness, unity, and love. And it's like, of course, it's like the GameStop movie, but that's what happened. Like a bunch of them came together and they literally disrupted the stock in the stock market that wasn't even a good stock, terrible stock to buy. GameStop, I mean, people always do stuff online now. Like going in and buying games is like a rarity. And so a lot of the Wall Street people, they shorted it, basically saying they make money because the stock didn't do well. But these kids, well, this one guy was like the leader, and he was like, we're gonna like he just started going on YouTube and everybody started following him, buying the stock, and it went up like I don't know the percentage, something ridiculous. And they disrupted some shit, and I'm about that.
Yes,
With
indeed.
love, with
Yes.
love, with
Yeah.
love. Yeah.
When we see how they manipulate these markets to make sure that we are not in the money, you know,
I
like,
know.
all right,
Yeah,
it's
let's
time to
disrupt
change the
some
game.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even Healerverse, like it's like if anyone has any suggestions, like, of how it can be its whole own ecosystem, come to me. You know what I mean? Like I'm just it's in place and I'm happy to it's a community, like whatever people want. If they feel safe there and comfortable, that's the vibe. If you want something, come tell me because that's the purpose of it. I built it for everybody. Like, come
Wa-
tell me. Let's make it happen if it makes sense, with
Wow. So
unity
can
and
just
love.
anybody
Yeah.
join Healerverse? And how does that work?
Yeah. Yeah. So the website is 5dhealerverse.com. It's a web app. I don't know if anybody saw over the weekend that MetaMask literally got taken off iOS, which is Apple's app store. But it's back on. But like that's why Healerverse is not an app. Like, um, I don't think there's a point. But anyways, you can log into the portal and we're starting to verify healers. That way people can find healers in their communities. It's literally 222 a year for a healer to be on there. And that will be locked in for life. It will go up in December, January, but I just wanted to bring in the initial healers onto there to like start getting people verified. So because we have so many more seekers on there, like it's mostly seekers looking for healers to work with. So I'm like, okay, like, let me start verifying healers at like a low price point, which is just a good energy exchange and get people on and people talking and having fun. And the energy on there is so good. So if anyone wants to come contribute, come join us, It's super easy to sign up, log in. It literally looks like Facebook. You can look for healers, workshops to do anytime, events. Healers can put up their events, workshops, and be on there for people to find healers near them. Like I said, when I'm traveling, let's say I'm going to I'll make up something like France, right? It would be so nice to book a Reiki appointment before I get there, right?
Yes.
Make sure my like energy is intact and also meet new people, right? That's the vibe. That's the
Ah, I
vibe.
love it. So if people are
Yeah.
just looking for healers, is there a fee to join as well?
No, 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 no. It's free.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
So if
amazing.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Really, it's like healerverse, it's good vibes, all love. Like I said, like there's not really censorship unless like somebody is literally fighting with somebody, then I'm gonna kick their butt, you know? Because that's not the purpose. All religions are welcome, all spiritual people, everything, anybody that's doing good in the world, we want you on Healerverse. Bring the good vibes, bring the love, bring the just feeling of freedom and unity. That's the point.
Exactly. All the vibes that are healing vibes.
Yes, exactly. That is like the tone with the downloads that I did in the Reiki.
Uh, I love that. Wow.
Thank you.
That is so amazing.
Exciting.
And if you hadn't gone through that terrible experience in 2014 and being on
Yeah.
death's doorstep and really hitting rock bottom and realizing like, wow, I got to do some inner work here. I need to change some things around. Well,
Yeah.
that was your trampoline moment. It was like, wow, way down in that trampoline, but
Oh
then
yeah.
man, it just catapulted you up into this
Yeah.
whole different timeline.
Yeah, like as I round the corner to like the 9-year mark, it is a very sentimental time for me as I reflect back about how far I've come. Some days seem to take like, like I feel like I'm not getting that far ahead compared to where I want to be or how fast I want things to happen. And then, but when I reflect back, I'm like, damn, that happened fast, and I want other people to have, yeah, it's always like in retrospect that we learn and reflect.
Exactly. Right.
Oh my God. But yeah, I mean, like I literally went to the other side, you know what I mean? Like I was in the tunnel and everything. So, yeah, and
Yeah,
that
what
literally
was
did
that
change
experience
everything.
like?
That was the realest thing I've ever experienced my whole life, sister. My whole life.
I believe
Literally,
that.
that was, yeah. Like when I woke up, like I was like, I have to tell them what just happened. Like I did come out of my body. I didn't know it was my feet that I was seeing, but they were blue. My legs were blue. I didn't see my face. There was like two spirit guides there. Maybe one was like an angel because she was really beautiful. Who knows? I mean, I think they might have been like I don't know if they were really, maybe I should ask.
There you
Who
go.
were you guys? You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, it's such a sentimental thing to remember that I don't even know if it matters. You know what I mean? They were just there, like helping me basically. Maybe, I don't know. And then I went like it was like the end of like a cave tunnel after being in a tunnel on a boat. And then up like at the top of the cave, um, like they were celebrating Christmas. And I went up there for a little bit after like came out of my body and I was trying to talk to the people up there and they weren't listening to me. And I was trying to talk to them. They were just celebrating Christmas. And like what's interesting is some of the people that were there are in this current timeline. So I learned a lot from that. I think the reason that it was Christmas maybe was because of growing up Christian. I think maybe they showed me something that I'd be able to relate to, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
um, from this life, past lives, etc. And then also it makes me think that even though like my soul is present here right now, like it appears that it could be that my spirit is in other places at the same time too.
Yeah.
But even though this is like the physical presence that I'm in right now, like in this, it's not even this present moment, but like in this moment, like here, you know, like maybe I'm over there, maybe I'm up there. And then when I did my Reiki 2 training, I asked, I asked like, God and like the spirits, so where are you guys? I was like, are you up there, out there, down there? Where are you? And it's like one of those drop the mic moments, as I like to call it, with my spiritual encounters, where they were like, you're too human, you'll never understand. And I'm like, aye aye. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of cool to be human sometimes. I've had a lot of those over the years.
Yeah, right. Oh my God.
Yeah. So,
That's
oh my gosh, wow.
yeah.
But I mean, 86 degrees. Most people, like 99.9% of people don't come back. The doctor was shocked when I woke up. I
Wow.
didn't know the president was, but that wouldn't be something I would know on a normal day.
That was
And
Thank
just
you.
in general, let's like,
Exactly.
you know,
Right.
I'm like, ask me something I would know. And they were like, not funny, because it was really embarrassing too.
Oh my, oh my gosh.
I'm like, there's nurses my age holding me up to go to the bathroom, you know? Real, like, talk about humility slash humiliating, you know? Oh my gosh. But hey, literally, at least I knew I had a purpose when I woke up, and now I know semi what it is. And 100% of what it is to help people. So I'm so grateful that we did this today.
Uh, Thank you so much for coming and
Thank
sharing
you.
your story with us. This is so
Yeah.
inspiring, and it's so inspiring to know that there's a place called Healerverse where we can
Thank
all
you.
go and join in community,
Yay.
where it's a safe and sacred space, where it is
Yay.
all about healing and raising
Yeah.
vibration and raising our consciousness. So I
And
love that.
it's fun too. It's fun too. Just
Yay,
come.
even
It's one of
better.
those things. Yeah, it's like come as you are, like literally, you know. And if you could even sign up anonymously, if like you're struggling with something, like I get a lot of messages, as you can imagine, from people like that are like really, really, really sick. I'm like, go on there, like, you know, like just you don't even have to say who you are. If you need help, just go on there, you know, anonymously. Like it doesn't matter. Like, you know, obviously if you want to be a healer, you have to say your name, you know what I mean? Just to protect the community. But if it's like a virtual like healing that you're gonna do through a healer, and like we can help you and you want to remain anonymous, like that is important sometimes. It really is. Think
Wow.
about it. Like, yeah, helping bring people to the light sometimes involves like them to like feel safe enough to just go on there, even if they're not like, hey, I'm so and so, like, you know? So, but yeah, just be nice.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah, right?
wow.
Yeah.
This is so great. So Trish,
Thank you,
thank you
sister.
so much for agreeing to come and be a guest today. It's been so great meeting you and hearing your story. And
Same.
I can't wait to go and explore the Healerverse and see what's in.
Come. Yeah, come on. And everyone that signs up, introduce yourself, you know, upload pictures, whatever. Like, come contribute. We'd love to have you.
Oh, this is great. Thank you, thank you,
Yay.
thank you. So
Thank
they can
you,
find
love.
Healerverse. Say it again. It's 5D
Yeah,
Healerverse.
5thehealerverse.com.
Beautiful.
Yep. And then just enter portal, or you could find healers tomorrow. Well, so after this comes out, like you'll be able to find healers, organizations, events, and workshops on the homepage. But when you enter the portal, there's all social media in there and like people sharing, and feel free to comment, like, just, it's literally like a welcoming space. So that's how we are. So
This is
five,
great.
yeah, 5thehealerverse.com. And then also you can email me if you need anything. It's Trish Kane, Kane, at 5thehealerverse.com.
Beautiful. Wow.
Thank
Well, I hope
you.
to see many, many of you in Healerverse so that we can
Yay.
all gather together and heal our universe, that we can bring
Yes.
ourselves back into alignment with the truth of who we are, the well beings that we truly are. Uh,
5D.
Yay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Wow. Well, Trish, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure. And I do hope you'll come back again and play with us again on Solution Sunday.
I would love to. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Oh, you're so welcome. Great. And everyone who's been watching today or listening on Connecting You to You Radio, thank you so much. If you're watching on YouTube, remember to subscribe to my channel. If you are listening on Connecting You to You Radio, thank you so much for subscribing to the podcast. And until next week, create for yourselves a great week. If you'd like to reach out to me, I am Lisa Warner. I'm the author of The Simplicity of Self-Healing, and you can find me at connectingyoutoyou.com. And look for Trish at 5dhealerverse.com. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.